is a, I guess, quite annoying piece of equipment because it's good for like two things, but you have to have it. Hello friends, I hope you guys are all doing well today. I am Karina and welcome to Explore Blue Wild. So today we are talking about the best beginner budget travel photography gear. So when you're starting out travel photography, it can be really overwhelming. You're not sure which gear to get. You don't know what you need to be successful, but there are actually just a few pieces of camera equipment and accessories that you're going to need to start off travel photography, and these will get you really far. So the first piece of gear you need obviously is a camera body. I suggest going with the Canon Rebel series. I have the Rebel T5 because I bought it back in 2015. I think the current Rebel is the T7, so I would get the newest version of the series. You can buy it either in a kit or you can try to find a used version that's just the body. I actually recommend just buying the body because the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens that comes with these cameras is I did not find it useful. I never took it with me while I was traveling, but this little camera body, it is not the highest quality, but it'll take really good pictures in most conditions, and you know, its limitations aren't going to be super noticeable for you when you are starting out photography, and this little camera can get you some amazing pictures and get you really far. Okay, next up is lenses. There are two lenses that I consider pretty essential if you're going to do photography, and then a third lens if you are more interested in doing anything that's going to require a telephoto lens or are willing to make the larger investment. So the first lens I recommend every beginner get is the Canon 50mm f1.8 lens. This retails for about $100. I have never found another prime lens that opens up to 1.8 for $100. It is super tiny, super lightweight. The photo quality that you get out of this lens is astounding. It is an amazing lens. It's super cheap. Highly, highly recommend. The next lens I suggest for all travel photographers is this one. This is the Canon 24mm f2.8 prime lens. This one goes for about $125. It is, again, like the 50mm lens. It is super high quality for the price. This one is also super lightweight. It's even smaller and really convenient, and yeah, you're just getting really high quality lenses for a very affordable price. And the third lens I recommend is the 75 to 300mm lens. You can get this in the kit, but then you have to deal with the 18 to 55mm lens that I don't recommend you bring with you. So this lens is if you are looking to get a telephoto lens, which I basically only used when I was photographing wildlife. There are a couple occasions where you might be like, oh, I wish I could get closer on that landscape. But honestly, with the quality difference between this and my other lenses, I would just shoot with the 50mm and then crop it in because I was getting about the same photo quality than if I was trying to use this lens. So you do see some decreases in quality with this lens because it is a telephoto lens and it's a kit lens, so it's a little bit cheaper made. But if you want to take photographs of animals or things far away, this is the only lens that's like affordable to do that with. So I would recommend this if you are looking to get into any sort of wildlife photography or photography where you're going to need a telephoto lens. Quick caveat, the reason I recommend the Canon line of entry-level DSLRs is not because I think the Canon cameras are better, but because Canon is the only brand that offers those really high-quality prime lenses at a cheaper price point. up is I recommend buying an extra battery and of course always bringing your battery charger. I feel like I shouldn't need to mention this, but the amount of people who forget these is insane. Anyway, so I recommend always having an extra camera battery for your camera. Buy it at the same time. Make sure you get a brand name, in this case Canon battery, because if you don't, you can void the warranty on your equipment and also it will probably fail you. So get a brand name battery. It's gonna cost you 50 or 60 bucks, but it is 100% worth it if you're shooting halfway through the day and it's cold or wet or you forgot to charge your camera the night before and all of a sudden you're in the middle of an amazing place and you need great photos but your battery's dead. Having an extra battery is so important, so essential. This has saved me more times than I can count because you just never know what's gonna happen when you're shooting, and having an extra battery is so worth the upfront cost for the photos that you are not going to miss. Next are memory cards. So these I'm storing in a Pelican case now. If you're paranoid like me, I recommend this case because it is virtually indestructible and this is your precious work. So memory cards, I suggest having like 4 of these. Don't go smaller than 32 gigabytes because otherwise you'll be changing them out way too often. But I recommend having a bunch of them, especially if you're a beginner. You probably don't have a lot of equipment to back up your photos. You might not have external hard drives or be able to bring your computer with you while you're traveling. So as many memory cards as you can, because that means you can rotate your cards out through the day. So God forbid one of them crashes, you don't lose all your photos from that day on your cards. And again, I recommend getting a very safe place to put them in because your photos are literally irreplaceable. So, memory cards. Couple more things. This is I guess, quite annoying piece of equipment because it's good for like 2 things, but you have to have it. So this is just a little blower. It's, shoots out air. It's got a filter in there so there's no dust or anything coming out of it. And this is used to clean your image sensor. That is the part of the camera that actually captures the images. And when you're changing lenses, sometimes you can get dust on it. And if you get dust on your image sensor, every single one of your images is covered in dust spots, which is not fun. So you need this to clean your image sensor because you should not touch your image sensor under any circumstances. That is a terrible, terrible idea. So bring this to clean your image sensor so you don't have dust on all your photos. It also works to clean off lenses. Okay, the next thing is filters. So there are actually 2 types of filters that I recommend. I recommend having UV filters. Actually, I didn't show you guys this, but I have a UV filter on top of every single one of my lenses because UV filters are cheap and lenses are expensive, and I'd rather have the UV filter get scratched or broken. So you can get them for like 25 bucks. They don't affect your image quality that much because it's literally just glass. They're not trying to do any like color correction or anything. All right, and then this is a circular polarizer. I don't know if you can see, it's supposed to be getting darker as I turn it. And basically what this does is it helps you reduce glare, it can bring out contrast in the clouds, it can also help darken a scene if you want to shoot a little bit wider open during the day for some reason. You can use this, but again, if you're shooting anywhere near water, this is just really helpful to have around. Last but not least, I recommend having a travel tripod, specifically the Joby Gorilla Pod, because it is super sturdy, super versatile, super lightweight, and you can like crunch it up into a bunch of different shapes to fit it in your bag. So when you're traveling, you might want a tripod to take landscape photos or photos of yourself if you want to get those awesome shots and you're traveling alone. It's really convenient to have, and you can also use it to like vlog. So even if you're not using a tripod every single day, it's really helpful to have when you do need it. And this tripod is super small, it weighs like a pound. It holds up to 3 kilos, which is the size you should get if you have an entry-level camera, and I recommend getting the tripod with the head because good luck getting level images without it. And it's just really nice to have when you need it, and it doesn't take up much space, and it doesn't cost that much. That concludes my list of beginner budget travel photography gear. This is gear that got me through New Zealand and took all of the amazing photos that I got there, and I would highly recommend it for any beginner looking to get into photography who doesn't know what gear to get and is also on a tighter budget. thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please like down below. It really helps, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this and more talk and showing wild adventures. And I hope you guys have a great week. Bye!